What is your name, please?
My name is Joe Savoldi.
What is your name, please?
My name is Joe Savoldi.
What is your name, please?
My name is Joe Savoldi.
Two of these people are imposters. Only one is the real Joe Savoldi and is the only one sworn to tell the truth. Now, here is our host, Bud Collier.
Good evening, thank you. And welcome to Tell the Truth. Now may I introduce our panel. What is your name, please?
My name is Polly Bergen.
My name is Keenan Wynn.
My name is Kitty Carlisle.
And my name is Hy Gardner.
Yes.
Keenan, I must say it was nice of you to decide to do a Paramount picture with Sophia Loren back here in the East, because when we learned you were here, we grabbed you.
Well, I think it's wonderful, and I know Sophie will enjoy the plug. So that's good.
Well, it's a sincere welcome from all of us. Glad to have you back. Now, these three gentlemen, as you heard, all claim to be Joe Savoldi. Only one, of course, is the real Joe Savoldi. The other two have merely assumed that identity, and they are the ones who do not have to stick to the truth. As is our custom panel, you'll find copies of an affidavit in front of you. Will you please open them and have them before you while I read from the original? I, Joe Savoldi, am a graduate of the University of Notre Dame, where I played football under Knute Rockne and was twice voted All-American. After college, I became a professional wrestler and was recognized as world's champion. During World War II, as an American OSS agent with General Wild Bill Donovan, I participated in a mission which led to the surrender of the entire Italian fleet. Signed, Joe Savoldi. Well, you heard these three gentlemen all claim to be Joe Savoldi, wrestling champion and intelligence agent. Only the real Joe Savoldi must answer your questions truthfully, of course. Each of you will question until you hear this signal. And at the end of the questioning period, you will be asked to cast your vote for the one who, in your opinion, is the real Joe Savoldi. And we'll begin tonight's questioning with Kitty Carlisle.
Thank you, Bud. Number one, where did you win the world champion wrestling?
Madison Square Garden.
Number two, it says here that you played football under Knute Rockne. Do you know his wife's name?
Mrs. Rockne.
Number three, what was the mission that led to the surrender of the entire Italian fleet?
The Gerosi mission.
The Gerosi mission?
Gerosi mission.
Can you enlarge on that?
Well, we were told to infiltrate the enemy lines so that we can lead our boys over to the Italian admiral. At that time was Admiral Gerosi, who was supposed to hand over the Italian fleet and surrender. That was in 1943.
Number one.
Hy Gardner.
Number two, what is Strangler Lewis's first name?
Ed, I think.
Number three, who is the most famous promoter of professional wrestling? He used to walk around with spats and carry a cane and so forth.
Jack Curley.
Do you know number two?
No, I don't.
Number one?
I do.
What's his name?
Curly.
Number one, who is known to sports writers as Joe the Gunner?
Joe DeGarnoff was a Broadway character.
Number two, was the late Knute Rockne a redhead, brown, or was he bald?
I don't think he had hair.
What would you say, number three?
He was bald.
Number three, what is the name of the former heavyweight champion of the world who is still wrestling professionally? Would you know number two?
Jimmy Landis?
Number one, would you know?
Primo Cadero.
Number one, one more question. You fellas, you certainly do.
I never trust Hy when he uses all those names because I never know which one of them are real and which aren't. It's so tricky. Number one, when did Dan Chamberlain hold the wrestling championship?
Never heard of him.
Number two, could you tell me?
Never heard of him.
Number three?
Never heard of him.
Well, I can't work every week. I never
heard of him either.
Me either.
I knew him personally.
Did you? Number 2, who were the 4 horsemen? Could you name them?
Well, I think it was Crowley, Stool Dryer, and Layden. I think.
Number 1,
Don
how do you
Miller.
spell stool dryer? Oh, come on, I got it in.
Stuhruhrerer.
Spells Polly.
E-R-E-R-E.
Keenan Wynn.
Yeah, I'm sorry I
Still
asked.
dry.
Well, of course, most of the things that I was thinking, Jack Curley, I knew Mr. Curley. And all. Did you wrestle, number 2, did you ever wrestle in Yankee Stadium?
Yes,
What name did you use as a pro wrestler at that time?
Jumping Joe Savoldi.
That's odd. What was the name, number 3, what was the name of the flagship of the Italian fleet?
I wouldn't know.
Number 2?
I don't remember.
Number 3? Number 1?
I wouldn't know.
I don't either. That makes 4.
Well, I don't either. The time is all gone. It's time to cast your ballots, if you will, please, panel. And in so doing, of course, without consultation, vote for number 1, number 2, or number 3. Remember that the team of challengers will get $250 for every incorrect vote. All set, panel? Polly, are you ready?
No.
Get set. And go. For whom did you vote?
I vote for number 2 because I think his left ear is cauliflower. And I don't know whether you get that when you wrestle, but I know you do when you prize fight. Maybe you do when you wrestle. So I voted for him, which means he's probably a prize fighter and not Joe Savoldi.
Keenan, what about your selection?
I voted for number 2 because he knew Newt Rockney's wife's name.
And your vote, Kitty?
I voted for number 1 based on some of those probably phony questions from High and the fact that number 3 stammered on the mission. I didn't feel that infiltrating behind the lines had much to do with the fleet.
And High Gardner?
Well, I voted for number 3. Number 2 has the usual husky voice of a wrestler or a fighter, but and wrestlers are hard to identify when they're sitting down. But number 3, I think, when we came to Newt Rockney being bald, he said it with so definitely that I went for 3.
Okay, there we have it. The votes are in, the minds are made up. Let's see how they compare with the way you've done in your voting at home, and I hope you are playing along with us there, as we discover which one of these 3 gentlemen is the wrestling champion and erstwhile intelligence agent. So will the real Joe Savoldi please stand up? Thank you, Joe, very much. Number 1, would you tell us who you really are and what you do, please?
My name is Dominic Pape. I'm a union official. Attached to the DRWWI U of A.
Mr. Pape, would you mind transferring all those initials for us, please?
Distillery Rectifiers Wineworkers International Union of America.
That does it.
Also the way you spell stool dryer.
And number 3, what about you, sir?
My name is Ben Vitale, and I am the Borough Secretary of Brooklyn.
So what he does now?
Ask Joe what he does now. You ask Joe what he does
Joe,
now.
what do you do now?
I'm in the insurance business in South Bend, Indiana. I represent the Federal Life Insurance Company of Chicago with the Arnold Gilman Agency in the Oddfellows Building in South Bend, Indiana. Thank you.
Joe, what do you do now? I mean, as we check up on the score here, we find that there were 2 incorrect votes at $250 each for a total of $500 from Marlboro. Gentlemen, you'll find a carton of Marlboros for each of you on the way out. Thanks for being with us. Good night and good luck.
What is your name, please?
My name is Sandra LeBrock.
What is your name, please?
My name is Sandra LeBrock.
What is your name, please?
My name is Sandra LeBrock.
All right, panel, you've had a look. You've heard what they claim. Follow along, if you will, please, in your copies of this affidavit. I, Sandra LeBrock, am a member of the internationally famous Bluebell Girls. An early highlight of my career was entertaining British troops during World War II. I traveled on the continent with a ballet company, and I've also danced in Paris at both the Bal Tabarin and the Lido de Paris nightclubs. Currently, I am appearing at the Stardust Hotel in Las Vegas with a French nightclub show which was imported direct from Paris. Signed, Sandra LeBrock. Now, panel, you heard these lovely young ladies all claim to be Sandra LeBrock, Paris showgirl. Let's begin this cross-examination with Hi Gardner. Hi?
Where did you first wrestle? Number one, where in Paris is the Lido located?
On the Avenue Champs-Élysées.
Number two, in what part of Paris will you find the Folies Bergère?
I really don't know.
Would you know number three?
That's in Montmartre.
Number three, what is the name of the publicity man at the Stardust?
Our publicity man is Johnny Augustine.
Would you know number one?
His name is Mr. Murphy.
Would you know number two?
I think his name is Mr. Murphy.
Number two, in what Las Vegas newspaper do you read the columns of Winchell, Gardner, and a number of other people?
I'm afraid I don't know.
Would you know number one?
I've read them, but I can't quite remember.
Would you know number three?
I can't recall either, no.
Number one, who?
Polly?
Number one, if you're standing in front of the Stardust Hotel, what is the hotel to your left directly across the street?
To my left?
That's right.
Let's see now, the Desert Inn is on that side.
Number two, could you tell me?
It's the Desert Inn.
To the left, if you're standing in front of the Stardust, would be over there. Number three, could you tell me?
It's opposite the Desert Inn.
None of them have ever been in Las Vegas. Ever. Because I just came from there, and they're all wrong.
Maybe you're more observant than they are.
That's possible. Number one, what is the color of the dining room at the Stardust?
Oh, it's pink. The walls are very beautiful.
Number two, where is the orchestra located in the dining room?
It's on the left-hand side of the stage.
Keenan?
Yeah, number two, what is the name of the organization that handled entertainment, the British organization that would be equal to our USO? What was the name of it? Entertainment for the troops during the war.
I really don't know.
Number three?
I don't know either. We was not for a certain organization.
Number one?
ENSA.
Number one, how old were you at the time that you entertained the troops?
Well, I was at the time attending a dancing school, a small one, during the war, and I was about 10 years old.
I see. Whereabouts did you entertain the British troops?
In Wales.
In Wales.
Kitty?
Number one, what were the Tiller Girls?
The Tiller Girls, they were a group of dancers.
Number two, is Sandra LeBrock your real name, or is it a stage name?
It's my real name.
Number three, where do you live in Paris?
In Paris, we stayed just off the Champs-Élysées, about 5 minutes walk from
What
there,
street?
in a hotel. It was on a square.
You don't know the name of it?
It was Place Diana.
Well, number one, what arrondissement was it?
Sort of straight ahead.
Well, comme si, comme ça. And here we go for a vote because our time is up for any further questions. So without consultation, once again, panel, will you mark your ballots and select number one, number two, or number three? Oh, Polly, you're firm and first, huh? For whom did you vote?
I voted for me because I'm the only one who knows Well, I'm the only one that could answer all the questions. Well, then I'll just pick from them standing up there because none of them knew anything.
What number?
Number two.
Number two. All right, Keenan, who is your vote for?
I picked number one because she knew what ANZA was, and she also thought she knew what you said.
No, she didn't.
Kitty, for whom was your vote?
I voted for number 1, although she didn't know what I said. An arrondissement is a zone.
Of course it is.
And, but she's the right color from having come from Las Vegas. And also she knew about ENSA.
All right, and your vote now, Hi.
Well, I voted for number 1 because she knew the name of the press agent for the Stardust, Murphy, Gene Murphy.
Okay, there we have it. Now let's see how well we made out. As we discover which one of these three equally lovely ladies is the real Paris showgirl, dancer, etc., etc. So will the real Sandra LeBrock please stand up? You see there, Polly? And you weren't going to vote, eh? Thank you very much, Sandra. No.
Very sorry, but I thought you were facing the Stardust when
No,
you said
standing
that.
in front of the
In that
Stardust.
case, it's the
Well, when
other
she
answer.
stood in front of it, she faced it, you see. Yeah, all right. Number 1, would you tell us who you really are and what you do, please?
My name is Pamela Reiner. I'm a housewife and mother of 3 children.
And number 3, what about you?
My name is Angela Welsh, and I'm an airline stewardess with Pan American Airways.
If I look a little startled, a cat just ran across the stage. Ladies, checking up on the arrondissement, we find that there were 3 incorrect votes at $250 each for a rather bewildering $750 from Marlboro, which you may take and divide as well as the cat, if you will. And on your way out, you'll find 3 cartons of Marlboros waiting for you. Good night and good luck to all of you. All right. Now, while we're feeding the kitty, let's take time out for a minute. All right, panel, let's meet our 3rd team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Ido Romanoli.
What is your name, please?
My name is Ido Romanoli.
What is your name, please?
My name is Ido Romanoli.
Once more, panel, will you please follow along with your copies of this final affidavit? I, Ido Romanoli, am a New York City policeman. I am also a distance runner. In the past few years, I have won a number of marathon championships. Last week, I ran in the longest race of my career, 157 miles. There were 7 runners competing in the race. 3 of them were men, and the other 4 were horses. Signed, Ido Romanoli. All right, panel, these 3 gentlemen all claim to be Ido Romanoli, as you heard. Marathon runner, policeman. We'll start this round with Polly Bergen. Polly?
Thank you, Bud. Number 1, who won, you or the horse?
Well, let's see. When I stopped after 118 miles, I was ahead of 2 horses who had quit completely. 2 men were far out distanced. I was ahead of 15 miles ahead of the 3rd horse, and I was about 2 miles behind the horse that eventually won.
Number 2, it said that you ran 157 miles. Do you get to stop at all during that time?
Well, yes, I stopped 3 times, actually.
They allow you then to have a slight
rest
rest?
at any time in between.
Oh, I see. Number 3, where was the race located?
In Salt Lake City. That's where it started.
In Salt Lake City. Where did it terminate?
In Roosevelt, Utah.
Keenan?
Number 1, do the horses have to assume a kneeling starting position?
Everybody took off from a standing start.
The answer is nay, nay.
You bet on horses?
I bet on myself this time.
Well, who's the present police commissioner?
Mr. Stephen Kennedy.
How long is a marathon, number 2?
Well, actually, a marathon is 26 miles, 385 yards. That's the official distance.
Number 3, what's your badge number?
1427.
What precinct?
Kitty?
Number 1, what is it, Billy?
Oh, that's a little wooden stick that a policeman
Number
carries.
2, do policemen at this point carry billies?
At what point is that?
Well, right now. I mean, right now. You don't know.
Yeah, we do carry.
You do carry billies.
Yeah.
Number 3, in this race with the horses, were you the favorite?
No, I was the dark horse.
Number 1, were the horses being led or were they ridden or how did they get 118 miles by themselves?
The horses had a rider.
Oh.
And they had like trailers in front of them that they could stop whenever they wanted.
Hi, Gardner.
Number 3, who was flying Bob McAllister?
Well, he was a former police inspector who was a very outstanding athlete, track man.
Number 1, did you know who McAllister was?
He was before my time.
Number 2?
Well, he was before my time.
Number 2, what is your badge number?
3745.
What precinct?
66.
Where is that?
That's in Brooklyn.
Number 1, what is the name of the form that a policeman must fill out immediately after an accident or the scene of a crime? Is that the name that's given to it?
I think it's a UF6.
What number is it, number 3?
UF6.
Uh-huh. Number 2, is it true that a New York cop has to pay for his own bullets?
Certainly.
How much...
That's it. Time once again to vote. So will you please mark your ballots for a selection of number 1, number 2, or number 3. Have you marked your ballots, panel? Anchor lady, have you marked your ballot?
Oh, well.
Or whom did you vote?
I should stick with my hunches tonight, but I'm not going to. I'm going to vote for number 2. I think it's number 3, but... no, I really do, actually. But I voted for number 2 because he is the smallest, and if you have to run that far, you can't be too big after it's over, can you?
We didn't say anything about malnutrition during this
Well, that's a long run,
Yeah, it
for
is a
goodness
long...
sake. How you can't be, you know...
Well, Keenan, what about your selection?
I went for number 1 because he looks very athletic to me, and he made a lot of sense when he talked about the length of the race. He explained it very accurately.
Huh? Kitty, your selection?
I voted for number 1. Also on the basis of his physiognomy and because he gave the complicated setup of the race a very good shake, I thought, as Keenan did.
And
I voted for number 1, too, Bud, because I liked his answers, particularly the form. And furthermore, he was a diplomat. He called the commissioner Mister.
All right, there we have it. Now let's see how close we've come to the truth. As we discover which one of these 3 stalwart gentlemen is the real marathon runner, whether he shrank or not, so will the real Ido Romanoli please stand up. Wow, panel, you did real well on that one. You did real well. Now, number 2, would you tell us who you really are and what you do, please?
Well, my name is Louis Randisi. I'm a foreman of mails, United States Post Office.
And number 3, what about you, sir?
I'm Ralph Daviano, superintendent of the Rye Recreation Commission in Rye, New York.
Well, there it is. We find that the panel did real well with you gentlemen, meaning there was only one incorrect vote at $250 for that total from Marlboro. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Hope you had fun. We did. On your way out, you'll find that there is a carton of Marlboros for each of you. Thanks a lot again, and good night. I guess that's it, panel. Except once again, Keenan, thanks very much for being with us tonight.
Well, thank you very much, Bud.
You're always most welcome, as you know.
Thank you.
Good luck with the picture. Next week, Tom Ewell will be back. And I guess that's about all the little social bits of chit-chat I can think of, so good night, panel.
Good night.
Good night, Bud.
Now, this is Bud Collier saying good night from Marlboro and reminding you to tell the truth. Good night, everybody.
To Tell the Truth is a Mark Goodson, Bill Codman production in association with the CBS Television Network. Miss Bergen's Gown by Wilma.